Hello, everybody. This is Adam Picard once again with the Board Librarians. We're doing another art lesson today. Today, I'm going to do a very simple, kind of short lesson in the concept of one-point perspective. Now, if you watch the first thing, you noticed how I was talking about things like vanishing points and stuff like that to indicate how shapes are supposed to kind of go into the background. Well, there are two types of perspective drawing that most artists use: 1 point and 2 point. There is a 3 point perspective, but I think that might be a little bit advanced for what we'll be trying to do in these lessons. I'm just giving some basics and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is show us how to set up a very, very basic 1 point perspective. Might try to do just a very simple room. Now, what do I mean when I say 1 point perspective? 1 point perspective is a form of perspective where everything goes into a single vanishing point, usually at the center of the page. It's commonly noted like you just walk into a room and you're looking straight down the room. Very often used for interiors. It's often used to set up shots and stuff like that for like TV and stuff like that. You use it to set up your location. 2 point perspective is you are looking at 2 points on the horizon line, and that is where everything tends to go toward. Technically, you can have as many points on the horizon as you want, so long as you draw it into the proper perspective, but for the purpose of most art, they tend to work with 1 or 2 point when starting, and this is more for a design style method, so we're going to work with that. Okay, so get my supplies, get my pencil, my eraser. I'm going with the 8B today. Go with whatever pencil feels best for you. I'm going with 8B for the purpose of the tutorial because it shows up best on camera. Normally, if I'm drawing something and I'm trying to do things like that, I'd be drawing with a lighter pencil so that mess wouldn't show up and things like that. So I'm doing this in order to better facilitate the recording process. So my drawing's not going to look exactly clean, but it'll look technically correct. And I don't have a ruler on me, so I'm just going to be using this for my straight edge. You can use anything with a straight edge. It does not have to be a ruler. If you've got like an old sheet of, or an old box line around that's small like this, perfect. Use it for a straight edge. Or you don't even need to use a straight edge if you don't want, so long as you can kind of eyeball it correctly. Anyway, without further ado, let's set up our 1 point perspective area. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to kind of draw a box to be our frame. This is where all the drawing is going to take place. And it's going to kind of be like the walls of our room. Everything's going to kind of go through here. So what we're going to do is take this, draw a line right through, and another line right through. Okay, so right here we've set up our hallway, as it were. This is the vanishing point. Everything goes to there, so I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. Now, let's set the size of our room. Let's going to make this a little bit bigger. So what we're going to do is we are going to do another hallway here, another box here, like so. And this establishes the walls of our room. So now we can kind of get rid of these. Keep the vanishing point, at least a little bit of it. I mean, fortunately I'm using a dark pencil, so it's harder to erase all that, so the vanishing point is still kind of visible. All right, so we've got our room set up. Very, very basic. It looks like you're kind of looking into an empty room. Let's set some objects in here. Now, a nice thing about setting up one-point perspective is you have these neat little floor and ceiling lines. You can kind of set things up to be wherever you want. Let's just set up a small dotted line. This is going to be our horizon for the scene. Anything above will be angled down. So anything above is going to go this way. Anything below is going to go this way, and, you know, like that. And you're basically going to try to do it whenever you draw something. You're basically going to try to see how it crisscrosses the horizon. So let's start with something simple. Most rooms have a nice little couch. So let's set up a couch. Since everything's going to be kind of facing us directly head on, we can do this. And set it up like so. That's a little tall for a couch. Never mind, let me do this. And, you know, you're going to get a feeling for when things are too tall or too short or things like that or stuff like that. So let's set it up like so. Right around here. And then we do this. And I realize I'm setting this place up to be very similar to a very small studio apartment. That's fine. I live in a small studio apartment. That happens. Oh, hello there, Harley. Hello, you've come to join and do art, haven't you? Yes, yes, you have. Yes, Harley, that's an eraser. It smells. Yes. Are you looking for something to swat at? Well, whatever. Set up our point there. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to erase the lines leading to the wall. Because of that, we can get rid of this line, because there's no point in having lines that are blocked. Okay, so you might be saying, but that's not a couch. Well, that's quite true. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it into a couch. So what we do is we take this, and mind you, this is going to be a very simplistic sketch. I'm not going to go into full detail, show ribbing work and stuff like that. I'm going to be doing this very simply. Now we get rid of this. We might wind up having to put our wall back in our floor, but that's fine. What we're basically doing is a method I call the cutaway. You draw a full shape and you gradually cut away from it to create your new shape. And yes, I know I'm not using the straight edge to fix things, but that's okay. So the idea is that there is our simple couch. If you want to add cushions, you can. Just make sure to follow along. Detailing work is all entirely up to you. If you just want to do something more simple, you absolutely can. Me, I'm just fleshing out the material a bit more, just making it look a little bit more couch-like, just for the sake of the drawing. There we go. There we go. We have our couch, and it's nice. Voila. So, as you can see, all the points in here are heading toward the vanishing point. Now, it's okay if you're a little off on things like that. Don't feel like you have to be perfect. Art is never perfect. General rule of thumb in art is this. If at a glance it looks fine, it's probably fine. Trust me, there are plenty of fantasy artists who get away with way, way, way bad mistakes when you actually sit there and analyze their work. But because at a glance it looks fine, whatever, it's fine. All right, so we got our couch. What else would this place need? A table. So, table is nice and easy. Just start with this. This. And there's our table. Boom, done. That's simplistic enough. You'll notice that everything is still heading toward that central vanishing point. That's why things are switching sides and angles. Yes, Harley, you are very cute. Yes. Give me those clicks. That's right, Harley. Give me the clicks. Good kitty. Anyway. There's that table. Now, let's say you didn't want a table that looked like that. Okay. I mean, I can understand that. Some squares and stuff like that kind of boring. We did learn how to draw. So all you have to do is you've got your shape. You can kind of just put points here, just kind of, and you want to curve it, just do this, follow along. And then do the same right here, like you were making a cylinder. And get rid of your extra edge. And again, if you're using a lighter pencil, this will come away easier. Harder pencils put more down, so it's harder to get rid of the ridge, or not the ridge, the excess. So right there. And that's just me giving it a little bit of a fancier leg. And voila. We have our rounded table heading toward the central point. Let's set up, what are they looking at? Let's set up a TV on the wall. Nice big TV. This is going to be pretty easy. All you have to do is just kind of give it like so. And then give it a little ridge to show the screen bevel. Give it a little thing like this because, you know, the TV screen is black, blah, 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 blah. Boom, done. And finally, let's add one more thing. Something simple. Let's add something on the top. Let's add a bookshelf. Shelf of some books. You'll notice that as you get closer and closer to the vanishing point, or to the horizon line, the line gets more and more horizontal. This is how you set up your perspective. The more you get to the horizon line, the more things become horizontal. My pencil is starting to become very, very dull. Give me a second. There we go. And a few books, just. I know most. And here we go. Here's the books. And you can just kind of do this, plant the lines a little bit over here, and whenever you do, just do that. Get rid of this top line, and voila, we have our bookshelf. And right now, we have a simple room. Let's just add a simple light fixture. Remember, when doing a cylinder, then going away from the vanishing point to be wider. Voila, there's our fixture. Now get rid of the vanishing point because it's no longer necessary for the drawing. That may be a little window in there. Make it one of those nice double windows, and the little heating thing. The radiator right there, boom, boom. Get rid of excess lines. And voila, we have our very, very simple room. And that's all simple. You notice everything goes to a point. Just make sure you have your lines all go to a vanishing point. This makes everything fit into the proper perspective. This is 1 point perspective. Very simple. Keeps it kind of clean and everything. it's a little bit easier than 2-point because you're only having to focus on one set of angles. Once you get 2-point, things get more complicated. I'll discuss that next time. But yeah, very, very simple setup for how to do some basic art. They'll teach you this in most beginner art schools and stuff like that. 1-point perspective is one of the core fundamentals. Let's pop in a little closer so you can see a little bit better. See how everything kind of leans and it looks in, and it looks sort of like it's going back as opposed to just being flat. I could apply light and shadow and stuff like that, but that would be a different thing. I'm not going to work on shadow and stuff for right now because I want to make sure people understand this. But you notice that all lines kind of point to this central point. Everything goes into it. Even up here, you can kind of trace down to see how it goes. The table does that. Even the radiator in the back here, even though I just kind of scribbled that in, not a big deal. But, yeah, that is everything having to do with, well, not everything, there's more, but this is the good basics for 1-point perspective. Join me next time, and I will talk about 2-point perspective, where we will work with that, and yeah, hope to see you again. Everybody stay safe, keep wearing your masks. Look forward to being back in the library soon. Anyway, talk with y'all later, and have a good one.